Good morning, everyone. I'm George Hassel, and I'm proud to serve as co-chair of SARC's 15th annual community breakfast. What a wonderful milestone. Today, we celebrate a lifetime of firsts. I feel lucky to have come to my first breakfast 3 years ago. It has led to an enrichment of our lives that was truly unexpected. We've met amazing people, learned a ton, and become part of a very special community. We don't always understand where first will lead us, and I couldn't have predicted that I'd be standing up in front of you yet again, but I am honored to do so. For those first-timers out there today, I hope you'll allow room in your lives to learn more about SARC and become part of this community. For our many returning friends, we continue to share a journey with you that started when somebody probably told you about SARC for the very first time, and you had to ask what SARC even stood for. As the incidence of autism continues to grow, many families in the Valley join our community. We need to support these families and those families that have already joined us. We need to continue to research autism, its many underlying aspects, and I forgot that line. And its wide-ranging impacts. We need to find others who will help us with that journey and the challenges that we face along the way. With that, I will introduce our sponsors who have committed to providing that support and research through their generous contributions. Please hold your applause until the end. Our 2013 presenting sponsor, the Bradley Denton Family Trust. Gold sponsors, Aetna Schaller Anderson, APS, First Western Trust, Greenberg Traurig, the Melman Center, Small Giants, our silver sponsors, Arizona Residential Architects, Cox Charities, J. Berg Wilk, SCF Arizona, and Snell and Wilmore. And the many bronze sponsors listed on the screens throughout the room. Again, this breakfast wouldn't be possible without their support. Also, many thanks to all the contributors who supported this event today. And special thanks to the artistic team. They went above and beyond. And to Maureen Karabatsis from QR Game Plan. Following today's breakfast, scan the QR code you received with your table number with your smartphone app, and it will help you discover more about SARC. The information will be refreshed throughout the day, so visit often. While we are giving thanks, I would be remiss if I didn't say thank you to our tremendous board, our hardworking staff, and all the wonderful volunteers that make SARC what it is. Thank you. You know, my wife, Julie, and I have 4 wonderful children with whom we've experienced so many firsts. From their first cries to their first laughs, from their first accomplishments to their first disappointments. They all make up the storybook of our lives. I can vividly remember where Anna said her first word was at the grocery, or when Kate got off the kindergarten bus for the first time, arm in arm with her new friends, or taking Jack to the ER for the first of so many stitches. And when Trey told us for the first time, "Dad, I'm a Saints fan. I was born in Louisiana, not Ohio like the rest of you, and I'm not going to be a Browns fan." Our kids don't have autism, but I do remember the first time it touched our lives. I remember feeling a bit overwhelmed at the differences between our friend's child and our own. I remember wondering what their lives must be like every day, wondering what their journey would be like and how it would differ, probably dramatically, from ours. I remember feeling both lucky and somehow guilty for feeling that at the same time. I remember questions. How can I help? What can I do? What would be easier? What was going to be hard? We made the decision to include and participate, to give money and our time. We are so glad that we did. I want to acknowledge the dignitaries and elected officials here with us today who share in our commitment to serve the many families affected by autism. Please hold your applause to the end. As I call your name, please stand and remain standing. State Senators Katie Hobbs and Robert Meza. State Representatives Tom Farese, Doris Goodale, Eric Meyer, and Catherine Miranda. Arizona Superintendent of Public Instruction John Huppenthal. Director of the Arizona Department of Health Services Will Humble. Director of the Arizona Department of Housing Mike Traylor. Maricopa County Attorney Bill Montgomery. And from the City of Phoenix, Mayor Greg Stanton and Councilman Tom Simplot and Councilman Jim Waring. You know, while that old line from the Robert Frost poem about taking the road less traveled may not exactly fit, it is certainly true that the roads of this community are less traveled than those filled with typical children. I hope we all remember that taking the road less traveled can make a difference. Help us help this community with all their firsts and the roads where they will lead. It is now my pleasure to introduce our co-chairs, Nicole and Dan Goodwin. As some of you may know, their family faces the challenges of autism every day. It has been our pleasure to become their friends, and we are so glad they joined us in this effort. Please join me in welcoming Nicole to the stage.
Good morning. When I think of a first, I think of our first child, James Alexander. My husband and I called him Sweet Baby James, just like the James Taylor song. Our first child and the first grandchild on both sides, with the biggest blue eyes and long lashes to match. I think of his first tooth, his first word, his first birthday party. I think of all the things that were so pure and honest about having a baby. What would he be like? Would he like art, Legos, superheroes? Would he want to play soccer or maybe t-ball? And then I can think of the first time we knew there was something different about James. James was slow to smile, a tough customer when it came to giving up laughs. I can then remember the first time I read the piece of paper after a consult with a developmental pediatrician when James was 3.5 that said our son had autism, and how that made me feel confused, uncertain, scared about the future and James's potential. Would he have friends? Would he read or learn? Would he be able to enjoy all the things I had dreamed of him enjoying before he was even born? In my professional life, I'm able to prepare for hearings, depositions, negotiations. But this was something that no amount of preparation could fix. And then I can remember the first time I encountered SARC through the Jump Start program. That was the first time we started to understand autism, and more importantly, what autism meant for James. I remember James's first day at SARC's community school, walking through those doors with his little backpack on his back, greeted by the talented and patient staff who would work with him over the next year. Worked diligently to help him address his behaviors so he could finally learn and focus on the work ahead. Just the other day, I asked James, "How old are you?" He looked right at me and said, "I am 5 years old," with the most amazing eye contact. The thing is, James is 9. And if I were to ask him that question tomorrow, he would still tell me he's 5. Sometimes we feel like we're on a non-working elevator, stuck between floors, or stuck between floors with the doors wide open and 20 stories below us. But instead of frantically pressing the buttons, with SARC, we can take a deep breath and focus on the hard work ahead. James has a long way to go in many respects, but he has more happy moments than frustrating moments these days. He's in a wonderful school, starting to read, and safe. I could drive myself crazy thinking about all the uncertainties and what James will actually be able to do as he grows. or what we've missed out on over the years. But I take it one first at a time. And I know that we are not alone because we are supported by SARC. And because of your help today, that support and that hard work will continue. So, on behalf of my family and my first, my sweet baby James, thank you.